Hello.
Yo,
What's going on?
what's going on, bro? How you?
I'm alright, man. You?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready for another one of these Head for the Hills podcasts.
Yes, sir.
Um, Today, this one is for the wrestling fans. This is a bunch of wrestling on this one.
Wrestling.
hmm So, we're gonna get into like the weekend's events. So I was thinking, like, do we necessarily have to cover SmackDown? Considering we're gonna be covering like Summerslam and shit, which is like,
Nah, we'll have to.
yeah, this is a SmackDown's pretty much the go home show leading up to like all the SummerSlam matches. If you have a match at SummerSlam, you was gonna tie up any loose ends of your feud going into the pay per view. Essentially, there you go. Long story short.
Boom.
So, skipping on SmackDown, let's get to AEW Rampage, which comes on directly after SmackDown. And what was the highly anticipated return of CM Punk?
Mm-mm-mm.
Man, what an electric feeling this was. Hometown Chicago debuted. As soon as the music hit, it was a wrap. How'd you feel about this moment?
Man, before the music hit, it was a wrap, man.
Facts. That's
And
facts.
they hit it right on the head, leading out with them. And I love like absolutely every second of it, man. They knocked it out of the park. They did it right, man. They ain't put no restraints on him. He didn't write nothing. Just the pop he came out to was just crazy. The emotions spewing out. You seen people crying, people marking
hmm
out.
hmm
It was
Even
just
he,
crazy.
even he was teary eyed as well.
Yeah, he. You know what I'm saying? Well, I mean, we don't know what quite his curse is, but like he always kind of been some type of a little bit of a smug type person. But
hmm
he was like even jumping in the crowd, super joyous or whatever.
hmm
You know what I'm saying? Getting back to something he loved, and I was definitely overcome with joy for him, man. Like, if you know CM Punk's story, you know what I'm saying, dealing with WWE until now, man, you just can't help but to be like super happy for him, man. And it was just amazing, man. He just used some of his key marquee mannerisms, sitting down at the top of the ramp, letting it
hmm
soak in, getting hype, just sit down Indian style, reminiscent of the pipe bomb, man. I loved every second of it, man.
hmm Cut a great unscripted, very emotional promo.
Mm-hmm.
Touching on exactly what you just said, the journey. Indirectly about WWE, almost even to the point of trying to erase it from recent memory. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I also have a tidbit because I saw this just a few seconds ago when I was like going over the notes and stuff. Did you see what Booker T said?
No, I did not see what Booker T said.
Yeah, so Booker T says that CM Punk had the entire world in the palm of his hands, but he fumbled the bag because he chose to speak on WWE and not leave them out of it. So before we even dissect that, if there's really anything to dissect, I'm just going to throw out there that I believe that Booker T is like a paid media character for WWE.
Yeah.
So this is probably just a ploy by WWE, you know, to get some, feathers ruffled. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Uh, how do you feel about? But before, let's go back to SmackDown right quick. How do you feel about CM Punk being referenced on SmackDown by John Cena and Roman Reigns doing their promos?
Didn't really care for it. You know what I'm saying? And I'll hold off on it You know, so, well, I can't speak one to it. Like, so why Booker T ain't say shit to them about, you know what I'm saying, referencing CM Punk. You know what I'm saying? This is not the first time. I think people have did or says alluded to something with CM Punk before on
Right.
WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like, if he's not that much of an issue, he's not that much of a worry. You know what I'm saying? Vanilla Midget, y'all ain't shouldn't be worried about him. Let him do him.
Right.
And I just ain't like it.
Yeah. The way that John Cena referenced CM Punk, I felt like that was kind of cool because like you said about CM Punk doing his classic mannerisms, John Cena basically was like saying he was quoting like classic gestures that he would do, but classic gestures that that was CM Punk's thing known for doing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like that
So
whole blowing kiss thing and all that.
yeah, leaving in the crowd with the title and all of that type of stuff. So that kind of stuff was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Roman Reigns, I guess he's just in character, but his slandering is like, you know, I can tell that they have no problem crossing the line when they need to cross the line. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But nah, this was executed perfectly by AEW. Like you said, leading off with it. Don't keep the crowd waiting. None of these other matches would have. It just would have been CM Punk chance the whole entire night. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, setting up already setting up feuds with future talents and saying he has some bones to finish picking with other talents, I guess from previous promotions and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and saying that you know there may be others joining, other big names joining soon after him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and also he brought the ice cream bars back, man.
Yeah, and that's crazy. He paid for them. I didn't know
Right.
he paid for them. But
So
still, that's just that nice just touch. You know what I'm saying? Like they crossed all their T's, dotted all their I's with this one. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion,
mm-hmm.
like let them just give them the mic and just let them go, as opposed to having them come out and attack somebody or you know what I'm saying, something like that.
Right.
Just letting him do him. Like, the best way you can do it, man.
Mm-hmm. So um they said that he said that his return match is going to be September the 5th, which is what, next week. I'm guessing this next weekend, not this weekend coming up, but weekend after, I'm guessing.
Mm-hmm.
That'll be the All In, or is it All Out? I get confused.
I think it's all out.
Okay, so whichever All it is, he's going to be going against Darby Allin, um, which is starting to shape up as this generation's thing. This will also be in Chicago, and this event is completely sold out. Um, that's one thing we talked about all the time about CM Punk. He's going to sell out venues. Um, I also seen a couple of things on social media. I know we don't want to use social media as like stats and all of that, but a couple of things happened that never happened before that was just brought up on Twitter. So when CM Punk like debuted on Rampage, right? He was like, I think they say he was the first person on YouTube to be the top two trends at the same time.
Sheesh.
Yeah. So his return was the number one trend, and then his promo was the number two trend.
Okay.
Yeah. And then on Twitter, I think I don't know if he was the first, but they said like it's a very rare occasion for somebody to be trending twice in the top 5 at the same time. And on Twitter, it's like a wider Well, I don't know if it's a wider spectrum than YouTube. I don't know, but it's a big spectrum on Twitter. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for his return, for him to be trending by himself at number one, CM Punk trending number one, and then I think it was like at number 4, CM Punk returns was trending. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So two separate. Yeah, and we'll get into the whole moving the needle thing. That's a hot topic in the wrestling world. But Man, what a time to be a wrestling fan right now, ain't it?
Yeah, man. I kind of want to harken back to that Booker T statements, man.
Okay, okay.
And he could have been put up to it by WWE, which I don't know. I'm gonna just go on a limb and guess. I don't think he has. But I just think he's like just a company person.
In general.
Yeah, you know what I'm
Okay.
saying. And so he just, you know what I'm saying, just take his little shot and defend the company or whatever. Because he didn't say much about WWE. You know what I'm saying. What he said was just it was more so needed to be said and him explaining his journey. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah. It's not like he is just like, oh well, that last company I was with, this and that,
Yeah.
this and that, and nah, it wasn't.
All he did was say like it's not professional wrestling. Pretty much summed it up like he said he was in Ring of Honor. He left Pro Wrestling when he left Ring of Honor. Then now he's back. You
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm saying? And then he said like talking about his whole journey is like what took him so long is like, well, why he left is because he couldn't get right emotionally, physical, and mentally. Standing in this place is fucking him up. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very much need to be said. You know what I'm saying? Because what's going on over there. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So like, yeah, I like Booker T, but you can go eat a dick, bro. Like that shit
Yeah.
corny.
I like Booker T when he's a wrestler, but commentary Booker T is also decent, but this media Booker T, I'm not a fan of because I feel like he kind of has that it feels like he's trying to have that Jim Cornette feel to him. And he's just going to critique any and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Whether it makes sense or not. So, um, we both enjoyed this. Millions upon millions upon millions of people enjoyed this return.
Right, and for you to say he fumbled the bag,
Yeah. First of all, you shouldn't even be talking like that. You know what I'm saying? All right.
why?
This ain't your generation, man.
Yeah.
But um, the AEW is starting to. We know we always said that they just needed more star power, so they're starting to get it. So how do you feel about like the direction, especially with the potential names that we already talked about that could be heading over the Adam Coles and the Bray Wyatts and the Daniel Bryan, who's expected to debut at that. They have a huge show coming up in New York sometime in September.
Okay.
I think mid to late September, and that's widely the where they think Daniel Bryan will debut.
Sweet, sweet, man. I'm loving the direction they going, man. Like you said, they added star power and solidifying that roster. So you got like a nice mixture of older guys, younger guys,
Mm-hmm.
developmental guys, people who are over. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm loving it, man, and the way they're doing it, having people um beef and feud with like just different tiers is like it's amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like we just talked about CM Punk. His first person he called out was a Darby Allin. You know what I'm saying? Great. And he already said he has like a ton of people back there as far as younger talent goes that he wants to work with. And that's like what I'd be wanting WWE to do.
Right. Right.
Instead of like not work with WWE younger talent, at least help them, build them up, put them over. I ain't saying they gotta win every time, but it's a way you can book people for both people to look strong. You know what I'm saying? And like
Mm-hmm.
WWE always kind of drops the ball in that end. It's like they just the way they book people. We'll talk about it in SummerSlam, but it's just kind of crazy.
Unfortunately, definitely about to slide into SummerSlam. Of course, there was a few matches on the Rampage card. We had Jade Cargill defeat who was that Red Velvet.
Nah, that was Kiera or something.
Okay, one Red Velvet. My bad.
Nah,
All right, so my bad here. Pretty much a squash match.
yeah.
What other matches did we have?
It was
Uh,
was it John Moxley versus that
one of
group, one of them group,
the
yeah, one of the
yeah
guys in the group.
the fake Shawn Michaels looking guys or whatever. Of course, John Moxley picked up the win, and then I think that was the main event, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's the other guys that started jumping them, him and Kingston, and then Sting and Darby Allin came out for the save, and yeah, so I think we had one more match in between. We didn't get the Luchasaurus in them, did we?
Oh yeah, it was the tag team jump. Yeah, it was the
Yeah,
Luchasaurus
okay.
versus
Private Party.
right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
accompanied by Matt Hardy, and yeah, okay. So yeah, they picked up that W. Looks like they're heading towards another title opportunity against the Young Bucks.
They got to go against what's the name too, right? That's the next stage.
Yeah, another
The Lucha, the
Lucha Brothers.
yeah, right,
Yeah, the group that's with Pat.
yeah. So, quick question before we move on,
Uh-huh.
because I seen this floating around. I don't know, maybe like my expectations are like super crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So after CM Punk,
Okay.
how did you feel about the rest of the card or rest of Dynamite? Oh, what's that?
Rampage.
Rampage. Excuse me.
Um, it's tough because, and we talked about this like before we even knew about the well, I guess we knew about the CM Punk thing, but before we even like got to that Rampage was like after the first Rampage when they gave us 3 championship matches, how do you live up to that?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it's like it's that's a pay-per-view. They gave us the first Rampage.
Yeah.
So it's impossible. Even though CM Punk is great and he took up half the show. That's great, but then the other half is like, no, there's no way you can live up to Miro defending his championship, and then Britt Baker defending her championship in her hometown,
Mm-hmm.
and then Kenny Omega versus Christian for the TNA championships. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the rest of the card to me, it could have been better, but I'm going to err on the side of giving them benefit of the doubt because with this CM Punk thing, maybe they felt like they didn't have to knock this out the park. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And that's exactly where I'm at too. It's like, sheesh, like it's a marathon. Like people like we want them like to empty the whole clip. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
Like you
right.
got one big moment. You know what I'm saying? And not saying the matches were bad or nothing like that. It's
Good
just
matches, great matches,
yeah,
great
it's just
matches.
decent matches. And like you said, you kind of had to speed up stuff because like Punk took half of the hour show. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So
yeah. Yeah, I'm definitely was a decent show. You know what I'm saying? We probably would think it'd have been better if it wasn't for CM Punk. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like John Moxley is good star power to main event a show. Sting and Darby Allin and the Raptors, and then interfering is good. I love the Jade Cargill chick.
yes, sir.
And the Luchasaurus and Jungle Boy, that group, Marco Stunt, the third one, they're about as over as almost anybody in the company. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So yeah, I feel like you said, it's a marathon. They got, as long as you got the pieces in play and you got a competent person pulling the strings, everything's going to be good.
yeah,
Um, so that leads us to, and of course, we already talked about the shock wave that this ran through, like the sports world, social media world, everywhere. So, and in comes SummerSlam. So we both agreed that WWE got punched in the mouth with the CM Punk thing. And we both agreed that what happened at SummerSlam was like them panicking just to combat what had happened at Rampage.
mm-hmm.
Also, before we leave that Friday, the Rampage ratings were right on par with SmackDown's rating. I think they were just a couple 100,000 short. So this is multiple times now where AEW is pretty much almost on par with Raw and SmackDown.
And you gotta think that's coming on at 10 o'clock, bro. 10 o'clock
Right.
on a Friday.
Yeah. And it's just that was the second Rampage, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's just a second show. You know what I'm saying? So this is a company that's only been around for what, 2 years now?
yeah,
And they're pretty much catching up. You know what I'm
quick on them
saying?
on their heels, quick.
Yeah. So that's an interesting tidbit. So we get to SummerSlam. I guess we can talk about the pre-show because it involves a very one of our favorite storylines in WWE right now, which was Big E versus Baron Corbin. Ever since losing the King's crown to Shinsuke Nakamura, Baron Corbin has been on a downward spiral in life. He's lost his car, he's lost his house, significant other. He's poor. He's begging people for money. This has been one of the funniest slash, most creative, not most creative, but very creative storyline that they've done in a while. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Had a match against Big E. He has stole Big E's Money in the Bank contract. I felt like they could have did a couple of different things with
yes,
that they didn't do. But as the SummerSlam went on, you can clearly see where their priorities were. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And this isn't one of them. Obviously, Big E picked up the win, ended up getting his Money in the Bank briefcase back. How did you feel about this?
Uh, for what it was, I liked it. Like I said, I wish they could have did more with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if it wasn't on the podcast, but I had like pitched some like just how we just throw around stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, dang, man, he could have like since he already he's a SmackDown superstar, right? He went to Raw to try to get extra work. Like I'd have liked them to try to go down to NXT and deal with the rich guys down there. Maybe, what I'm saying, try to work for them, sell the briefcase to them, pitch it as an
Mm-hmm.
idea. Like, look, man, I got this Money in the Bank contract. You can go up there and elevate your career by challenging one of the champions and stuff like that. I don't know. It'd been nice cross content or whatever. That'd have been nice for
Mm-hmm.
something to do. And then, but I love the story angle. I'm hoping they keep it going. He's even taking the initiative to do stuff outside of WWE on the social media. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
you've seen my man is on the upswing. You know what I'm saying? Took $35, turned that to 100, took that 100
Uh-huh.
and turned that to like 1,300. So, you know what I'm saying? Shout out to my man Burn Corbin, man. You know, they
Mm-hmm.
hitting the slots and the video poker and all that.
Uh-huh. Getting it out the mud, man. It ain't it ain't who you are when you down, man. It's who you are when you got to grind to get back up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and did you peep when he was coming out to the ring? People were trying to give him dollars.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
then like I don't know how people don't like this angle. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, you're not saying it's over. Like people like literally trying to hand this guy's money. This angle is over, bro.
Yeah, it definitely is. Like we saw this like as soon as he started coming to the ring with no music and was looking sad with the stain on his shirt, we already knew this was going to be good.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was the precursor to that was the pre-show to SummerSlam, which kicked off RK Bro, Matt Riddle. I mean, I guess just Riddle now, and Randy Orton versus AJ Styles and Omos for the Raw Tag Team Championships, which will see Matt Riddle and Randy Orton win these in logical, strategic way. Long story short, basically, you get Omos out the equation. He's the big, unmovable, unbeatable object right now. You know how big men first are when they get to WWE, and then you capitalize on AJ Styles. We both agreed that we felt like this was going to happen. They've had the title since about what was that WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm.
They were decent tag teams, but it's run its course. Not a lot of tag teams to begin with, so it's only but so many feuds you can have. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, how'd you feel about this match? A great match, by the way, though.
Yeah. It was one of the few good matches that I liked on the card.
Mm-hmm.
AJ is just amazing. Shout out to Randy Orton and Matt Riddle. Great performance as well. I almost did great too. I don't know. Just nothing against the big guys. I just hate how they gotta write them off so he can win the match. And it's like I don't think Randy Orton did anything amazing to knock almost out of the match.
All
You know what I'm
right,
saying?
all right, all
I
right.
think he tried to knock him off the ring apron like 3 times, and he finally did it, and that put him out of commission. That is like if I'm just being nitpicky, that
Mm-hmm.
was kind of blew me, but it was still a great, great, great match. Like you said, we seen this coming, so I wasn't too shocked, surprised by this. But like you said, it probably had to happen. Nothing you could really do too much with AJ and almost. Now they got the titles on the Arcade Bros, and hopefully
Mm-hmm.
this, you know what I'm saying, they can take it and do something else with the titles.
Yeah. Oh, first and foremost, man, redesign these titles, man, please.
Oh yeah, these like the worst titles I've ever seen, bro. Outside of the 24/7 Jones, just like them Jones are ugly as hell.
Yeah. Just go back to gold. Can we get gold? Even if it ain't gold, we'll take silver. We'll take platinum. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But the red straps and the blue strap. Come on, man. No, don't stop that.
yeah,
It'll be interesting to see where they go. Obviously, when you take the titles off somebody, the feud. I don't think the feud's over.
yeah. They gotta
Um,
get their get back on all that stuff.
yeah. So we'll see afterwards what happens with this feud and whatnot. So it brings us to our next match on the card, which is Alexa Bliss versus Eva Marie. Um, Eva Marie's been back for a couple months now. She has her flunky dewdrop. Well, not anymore because this is the end of their little partnership. Alexa Bliss is still working the multiple personality gimmick. That was the Bray Wyatt thing essentially, and she picked up a W here. Um, Nice little back and forth match. I'm not a big fan of she got a lot of things from Bray Wyatt as far as like that gimmick goes.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I wish she wouldn't have took from him is chopping down her move set. A few years ago, she used to be pretty. I ain't gonna say she was technical in the ring, but she used to be pretty like move heavy in the ring. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like you would see like a variety, at least by female standards, a variety of different type of moves. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it felt like even though she wasn't one of like she wasn't Becky, she was yeah. I got a phone call.
Okay.
So
I thought that was me.
no. So she wasn't Becky, she wasn't Sasha, she wasn't Charlotte, but you felt like she could go toe to toe. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now I feel like she's just adopted that. Like in essence, she might do like maybe a good 5 or 6 moves, and then the rest is just like playing a few mind games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I'm not mad that she got the W though. Like I'm an Alexa fan. I said fan. I'm an Alexa fan. Eva Marie, eh, looks good as hell. I'll say that. But wrestling wise, ain't cool. How you feel about this match?
Uh, um, I absolutely hated this match. And you made some good points too. Maybe like I wasn't the biggest Alexa Bliss fan. She's cool. Like, I had no
Yeah,
problem with her, but like she's not like one of those people that oh yeah I like her. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And like you made a good point. Like they chopped the move set down, and that probably maybe hindered her. Like the match needed somebody to carry it, and maybe with
Right,
maybe with
right,
Alexa Bliss limited move set, she's not able to carry it, and Eva definitely can't carry it. So the match was just to
right.
me. And like you said, even Marie looks great, but I just like off in the tidbit real quick.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I was still working at my place of employment, old place of employment, because we had this rep who used we always used to kind of always have like a little debate.
Mm-hmm.
And you know me, I'm the biggest Sasha Banks fan,
Right.
and he was more so of Alexa Bliss fan.
Okay.
And I was telling him that like Sasha's like way better than him. I don't even know why he was even trying to argue me that. And I wanted to see his thoughts on this match, and you know what I'm saying, have this conversation again, that conversation again. But I didn't really care for this match. If they were going to do this match, they should have definitely pushed this more so in the front of the car, like right after the
Pre-show.
or maybe on the pre-show, because
Yeah.
the you know what I'm saying.
This should have definitely been pre-show.
Yeah, because I mean I love, even though like I know a lot of people have mixed feelings because this was Bray's gimmick. I like the gimmick, but I just wish they just like somebody with a cool gimmick like that. They need to be pushed better and stronger than what Alexa is. Like you said, you was happy she got the win because she doesn't really get wins like that. You know what
Hell
I'm saying?
nah. Yeah.
So
That's something she took. That's another piece of the gimmick she took from Bray too. Getting taking
losing.
the L. Yeah.
But yeah, I just didn't really care for this match though. This is like one of the lackluster matches for me.
Yeah. So after the match, there's an exchange between Dewdrop and Eva Marie, and she puts on. Surprisingly, she can fit it as well.
I said the same shit. I'm like, damn.
Yeah, so she puts on Eva Marie's little, stylish robe type of ordeal. Um, Smacks her, and then essentially walks off. And this is the end of their partnership, I'm assuming. Um, Eva Marie by herself, I mean, she's losing with help, so can't imagine without it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't, I don't know how we would do that. So moving along, which is the second title match of the night, which saw Sheamus defend his United States Championship versus Damian Priest. Um, Sheamus is a very underrated performer in my opinion. Um, I don't feel like he gets as much push and shine as he should. And Damian Priest is definitely, I feel like he's an up and coming star. I didn't follow him too much at NXT. I know you did. Seems like he has the it factor. He has the complete package. It's all about upper management at this point. He defeated Sheamus, and what was a pretty good, decent match. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, and becomes the new United States Championship. I feel like this is a step in the right direction as far as like I feel like he's going to be one of the primary youngins that they're going to try to groom into one of their next stars. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
With this, they won't admit it, but with this pressure from AEW, they're going to start to try to turn out new stars. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. I hope so. I hope so.
Yeah. And I like I said, it's a very decent match. I like Sheamus. I like Damian Priest. Damian Priest deserves this title run. And hopefully they just continue to build in the right direction. How'd you feel?
Yeah, yeah. I feel exactly how you feel. This was a good match. Love the decision. I don't think this is one of the decisions. Oh, I kind of seen this coming. So like we'll talk later on in the show. Like I don't think AEW pressured this one. I think this was. I
Mm-mm.
think this was coming.
You're
So
right.
I'm happy this. I'm happy he getting a shot. Like we always talk about, we want the younger guys to get talent. I mean, get shots. The younger talent to get the shots. And yeah, like you said, I followed him down in NXT. He had the it factor. Come up to the main roster. I was happy they put him with Bad Bunny. Give him a nice little shot spotlight with him in the mid so he can grow, get some
Mm-hmm.
exposure. And now
Mm-hmm.
they continue with it. They put the U.S. title on him, and I'm happy for him, man. Like I said, this is one of the young guys. I hope they push. He checks like a lot of the boxes,
Mm-hmm.
and I just hope Vince sticks with it long enough, or Vince and creative stick with it long enough. You know what I'm saying? Don't just at the moment he messes up or he doesn't do something you like, or you put some crazy astronomical requirements on him and he doesn't feel it because it's not his fault, and then you
Kill him.
shelve him.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I definitely agree. So only time will tell. It won't take much time because they, like I said, they won't admit it, but they got some pressure on them. So we're gonna see in the next couple of months how things pan out. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So that was a title match, and in a row they gave us a few of these title matches. Because up next we have the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, which sees the brother. I would say the Brotherhood, the Bloodlines, Usos, Jimmy and Jay defend their SmackDown Tag Team Championships against the Mysterios, Ray and Dominic. Um, to me, there's two different ways I can go about this match. So I enjoyed the match technically, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just hoping this is the end of this feud.
Yeah.
Um, Usos, great performers. Mysterios, excellent performers. But I've seen this one too many times now. Um, glad that the Usos kept these championships. It's looking like unless some smoking hot tag team come from out of nowhere, it's looking like they might hold on to these for a while. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And there's been a lot of tension between Ray and Dominic Mysterio, so we can keep an eye out there for any heel turns, breakups, anything. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, very, very solid match. These two groups are always going to put on high flying, fast pace, good storytelling. I'm definitely impressed by Dominic because he's only 20, 21, and he's hanging in there with some of the best talents that wrestling has. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yep.
So, how'd you feel about this?
Um. Again, we agree. I like the match. Nice spots, good fast pace, good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
But like you said, it has run its course through the numerous tag team matches, them having singles matches. Definitely had enough of this feud. And I will hope, if not this SmackDown, the next SmackDown, it should be going to another direction with the Usos. I don't know who they feud with because WWE doesn't really do tag teams, so I don't know
Mm-hmm.
who they feud with. But I hope they do have a nice feud coming, and hopefully this is wrapped up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it was a great matchup. Definitely impressed by Dominic, and this is what I was going to say. Like talking to my homie, like you don't necessarily need NXT. He wasn't NXT.
Mm-mm.
Granted, he had a cheat code. His father's Rey Mysterio, but
Yeah, so
he just
technically,
probably spent a little bit of time down there in the performance center, of course.
I'm about to say technically he's been in NXT since he's been born, but yeah, you know what? Because he spent a lot of time, and him and Eddie Guerrero used to be so good friends, and he's been involved in storylines and wrestling before. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely a cheat code, but at the same time, he still has to go out and do that work, which he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
So he deserves a lot of the credit that you give him. Um, I'm just trying to think off the top of my head, but I'm thinking only other tag team on SmackDown. We seen the Dirty Dogs, Mysterios. I'm thinking the Alpha Academy,
Yeah. What?
Chad Gable and Otis.
Yeah.
I
I keep forgetting the goddamn name. Montrez and Cuz they on
oh
Raw.
the Street Profits. No,
Street Profits.
they're on SmackDown too. So
That's gonna be the
yeah,
next. That's gonna be the next. That's gonna be the next feud.
think so.
Yeah, because they faces because Chad and Otis they heels, right? I mean they could do it, but like WWE.
Yeah, but they will have to get them some wins because the Street Profits they've been taking L's to Otis and them like consistently at this point.
Yeah.
So yeah, that would be something pretty sweet. So we'll see how that plays out. Which brings us to our third title match in a row, fourth on the card, but three in a row, which was supposed to be the SmackDown's Women's Champion Bianca Belair defending her championship against Sasha Banks. They waited until the last possible second to tell us that Sasha would not be in this match. I think you had pointed out they even played the little pre-fight video package.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just to announce that she could not compete. So the initial replacement was Carmella, which was welcomed with boos. Hard to tell whether this was boos because she regularly does get boos for being a heel, or they were just disappointed that Sasha wouldn't have been there, which is why I would have booed. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So she comes out looking as good as she always does, gets in the ring, and they're having a brief little non-mic back and forth before the Becky Lynch theme song hits. And for the last 18 months, the return of Becky Lynch. Humongous pop here. Humongous pop. People going crazy. She's walking down to the ring. At this point, everybody knows what's about to happen. It's not what happened, it's the way it happened for me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, so you can tell Becky's not in really wrestling shape. She squashes Carmella, but not really, because she really just threw Carmella into the steel stairs.
Yeah.
How that's enough to keep Carmella out during the duration of this, I don't know. But she gets back in the ring, and now she's having a non-mic back and forth with Bianca Belair. She gets the mic, gets to end up talking into the title shot. I want to say about 15 seconds into this match, one tried to gesture for a handshake. Soon as Bianca shake hands, which is a rookie mistake. Once you hear the bell ring, there is no shaking hands.
Yeah.
As soon as she goes for the handshake, Becky punches her, pump handles or man handle slam. You said, I guess that's what they calling it.
Yeah. You know how they
Once,
try to name it on the spot.
yeah, okay, yeah. I had my volume down, so at this point, I turned the volume down and shit. So 1, 2, 3. Becky's the new SmackDown Women's Champion. Now we both agree about the how this happened was just wrong. How'd you feel about this?
Yeah, like you said, man, this was just terribly wrong. And at this juncture, this is where you notice AEW is on the mind of WWE. This is where the
Mm-hmm.
card starts to take a nosedive. Even with the whole Eva Marie thing, you know what I'm saying? Because the card could have been still salvaged.
Mm-hmm.
So we listen to like different YouTube and media accounts.
Mm-hmm.
So the plan was for Becky Lynch to come back in the fall, more so in the fall,
Mm-hmm.
maybe like October, November-ish or something like that. And they put the call in because they knew that Sasha wasn't going to be able to make it. And I'm going to just speculate, you know what I'm saying, head for the hills, hot take.
Mm-hmm.
Probably not so hot. I think Sasha just has COVID. Because just hearing people cover it, it's not an injury.
Okay.
And I'm thinking maybe could have had a family emergency or something like that. Until they said she had to be cleared. So if it's not an injury and you have to be cleared, what else could it be?
Right.
And
What's up?
also, Kofi is dealing with the same thing. That's why he hasn't been on TV for a while.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Hasn't been cleared, no injury, but you have to be cleared. But, you know what I'm saying? Continue on with the whole Becky versus Bianca. Definitely didn't like it, man. And you could just tell they was like a scramble. Because I said that while we was we watched it together.
Yeah, this part, yeah.
Yeah, so you know what I'm saying. Figured that was a scramble move. They needed to combat the whole CM Punk thing, and like you said, maybe she wasn't in shape to do a whole match, or maybe they didn't have a game plan. But I think those, or at least Becky, is a much of a veteran. You know what I'm saying? They can go out there and do a little something, which I think they should have did. Because like, like how do we, or especially your casual fan, how do you still like Bianca, or you know what I'm saying, or still believe that she can be a reputable champion, and she just gets squashed in two moves, a full arm and then a manhandle slam, which I know y'all haven't built that finisher up, so it just looked like a regular move to me. You know what I'm saying?
To me too, and it's because of, and I guess this is a sense where we have to bring up SmackDown again because she went through two matches on SmackDown where she defeated Zelina Vega and then she defeated Carmella in back-to-back matches. How do you go to from that to you can't kick out of the pump handle slam?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like it just didn't make sense. Now unless you're trying to build up, because a lot of people were comparing this to the whole Kofi Kingston versus Brock Lesnar thing. Now we both agreed that they shouldn't have did Kofi like that either.
Right.
But it's way more believable when it's Brock Lesnar versus like Becky Lynch.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So we done seen the F5 like do damage. They built Brock up to be like that. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
that move has been built up to be devastating.
Exactly. So this, like you said, that move hasn't been built up. So and like we said, the only thing I could think of is what we've been saying is like they put the call in, she wasn't in like enough shape. Yeah, I can come out there and do a move or two. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Um, let's get the big pop and let's combat what happened last night.
Right, and I'm hearing this was a call from Vince to just make it a squash, and Vince is the last say so, so
Oh yeah, okay.
you know what I'm saying. That's just is what it is. But because I about to say, because like even if she wasn't ready last night, you know what I'm saying, you think she's gonna be ready and come Friday
No,
or maybe next week.
no.
So I mean, you put the bet on her because, like, it's time for war. So you want to have reputable champions. So we'll speak
Mm-hmm.
on the next match, or you know what I'm saying, and see what they did with that. But this is the route they're going. They try to combat what happened on Friday, man. Like,
Right. Sweet. So I don't know what the next match they're talking about. I hope it's not this one because I really didn't give a damn about this one. So after that, the dust settles, smoke clears. We have Drew McIntyre versus Jinder Mahal, as Knight would say, transgender Mahal. um, this had, to me, in my opinion, this had no business being this deep into SummerSlam.
right.
I get it. Drew's a big star. Jinder Mahal was once a big star before the injury. He's been gone for so long, and then even when he came back, they're not really pushing him as a major threat. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
He's more so of just I like to classify these heels as nuisance heels. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Great,
Like,
great, great, great classification.
thank you. So he's irritating, but you're going, once it's one on one, you're going to whoop him, and that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
So I don't really have much to say about this match. They're keeping Drew close to this main event status. And how'd you feel about this? Anything in particular?
Nah, I just wanted to say it wasn't a good match to me.
Yeah.
Not too fond of the guys that were in it. That still doesn't matter to me. If it's a good match, a good match. They just didn't put on a good match. Wasn't really interested in the story. I think this is kind of, well, maybe not going on too long, but I'm tired of it already. I would say that
All right.
the whole trying to steal a sword and him keep swinging the sword at him
Yeah.
stuff, and I'm kind of just tired of it. You know, so they cost him doing Money in the Bank and all that.
Yeah.
Kind of tired of this battle. Like you said, this definitely should have been further on the card. I don't know who. idea was it to lay the matches out the way they did, or what? But yeah, this was should have been more so towards the front.
Yeah, maybe it's because we've been watching, and the testament to like wrestling back in the day versus now, and then the testament to like how other like UFC or boxing does. But I feel like all the regular matches should happen first, and then the back half of the card should just be championship matches.
Yeah,
Like, there's no need to mix and match like a championship. Now, I get it. I like sometimes when they do like it was I don't think it was this WrestleMania. It might have been, but it also was the last year's 2020's WrestleMania where you open up WrestleMania with a world championship match. Like I get that, you know what I'm
yeah,
saying? One, because you got two world champions, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
And two, it's just to add a little razzle dazzle, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But nah, these matches should have been in the front of this card. Alexa and them should have been on the pre-show. Once we get past a certain point, it should literally just be if the tag team championship match happens, the other one should happen right after it. You know what I'm saying? If
yeah,
we're doing mid card with the United States Championship, the Intercontinental should happen, even though it wasn't defended at SummerSlam, but it should happen right after it or before it. You know what I mean?
yeah. It should like go from like regular matches to like feud high stake matches into the championship jumps. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And definitely feel like it should be that. So we get back to the championship matches.
This the matchup I was talking about. I forgot all. That's how trash that match was. I forgot all about that.
Look, the only reason because I just so happened to like the way I did it was I wrote all the matches down when we was watching them, and then I tried to write at least one thing from the match for a note.
Okay.
But even with this one, I just wrote the match down. I didn't have one thing as a note though. It was just blank. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
It was same old, same old. Wasn't nothing to write down. Rinse, wash, and repeat.
yeah. So
They think they about to he lose. They think they about to jump him. He gets a swinging a sword. Like
yeah.
whoop de fucking do.
Mm-hmm. So brings us to the Raw Women's Championship match. Nikki Ash, Nikki almost a superhero, defends her newly recently won in the last few weeks Raw Women's Championship against Rhea Ripley and against Charlotte Flair. Um, I feel so sorry for Nikki. She just got the push at the wrong time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Charlotte Flair picks up this win, becoming a 12-time champion. She's the Raw Women's Champion again, and we both thought that this is another direct response to the CM Punk thing. They're going to put all their championships on their biggest names. What do you feel about this?
It was a pretty good match,
Mm-hmm.
and nice psychology with it, working the limbs, always like stuff like that. Great match.
Mm-hmm.
But I just didn't like the decision. I just didn't like them taking the belt off Nikki so fast. And like you said, she's like one of them champions that just lose like crazy. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah,
definitely feel sorry for her. Got to push at the wrong time. Probably if it wasn't for CM Punk at AEW, she might still be champ.
I agree. Completely agree. Um, we could be wrong, but
Right.
I completely agree though. Um, yeah, I was saying off air when we was talking, like she won the championship and she was 1-5 with the champ. Well, 1-6 now with the championship. It's like it's just I ain't gonna say it's so many things, but it's just a couple of things. It's like it takes away luster from like the Money in the Bank, right?
Yeah. It's
Like
like, do we even want to even see this anymore? Because like you fucked over Otis, then you just kind of messed her over. Like,
yeah,
do we want to
shit.
keep saying the Money in the Bank?
All right, does he keep the title for what? 3 weeks? Or it's been a month, 4 weeks, 3, 4 weeks?
It seems shorter than that.
Right.
Parlay 3.
Yeah. So I'm not. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of that. And why let somebody win it if they're just not going to be like they're going to lose it? Like that thing with Otis, like Otis, that was unacceptable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, Otis was super over and everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Um, you can put the championship on Otis. Like he might not be your typical champion looking guy, but like you said, he's over. It just comes down to like them seeing you getting over without their machine behind you, and they probably want to stop, halt that as much as they can. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, I love Charlotte, but seems like the CM Punk situation is going to benefit her. I also don't know how the Ric Flair situation benefited her for him complaining that she's not getting booked right. We don't know if that has something to do with it. But when the dust settles, she's a champion again and representing the Raw's women's division to the highest power. So speaking of the higher power, that brings us to the Messiah, Seth Rollins. And as you stated a few minutes ago, the card's spiraling down at this point with
Yeah.
the decision making. The matches are great, but the decision makings at the end of these matches is spiraling down. Seth Rollins is going 1-on-1 against Edge. Edge has done gave us a classic throwback with coming out to the Brood music, um, the leather trench through the ring apron with the fire. Classic Brood, classic old school, classic Attitude Era Edge. Loved it. It was very nostalgic for me. Um, Loved it, and then it kicks to his current theme, and we're underway. Now this was a great match. Seth Rollins versus Edge. We didn't expect anything less than a great match from these two. It just comes down to the decision. Edge picks up this, and even we've said CM Punk clearly on AEW is clearly on the mind of WWE, but I just cannot for the life of me get this decision anyway. You know what I mean?
Right.
Seth Rollins is a star, and he's kind of been losing a lot lately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, Besides like petty feuds here and there where he's picked up W's, I want to say like he's kind of like losing these high profile feuds that he's in. But how do you feel about the match though?
I love the match. This match was amazing. Like
Mm-hmm.
people kicking out but tons of finishes, trying each other's finishes, and
Mm-hmm.
to me, it was match of the night. Um,
Agree. Yep,
yeah,
agree.
even though like I didn't like the finish, and like we said, like AEW is definitely seemed like it's altering these choices and decisions. So like my conspiracy theory, maybe me and you conspiracy theory will combine.
Mm-hmm.
I think you always said early on that this is leading up between for a feud for Roman and Seth,
Right, correct.
and I was on board with you, and I think what happened on Friday with Punk, I think that had to get readjusted because that's why I might have think they lost, make Seth lose. So bam, he lost. Maybe he doesn't have a direct road to Roman right now because we'll talk about what they inserted later on in the battle, in the night.
Right. Got you.
So
Makes sense now. Okay.
yeah, that's my twist on it, what I
And
thought.
so maybe him losing this one, he's gonna demand a rematch.
Yeah, or move on to somebody else. And I was like, question too, like I wondered if Vince is going to throw around money to make some of these part timers not so part time. Keep
Oh
them around,
well,
see how long that they have, see if they can bolster the roster, add more star power to
he
it,
he
see if they can
has
keep
to. I
Edge around or something like
feel
that.
like he has to, right?
I would think so, but I don't know if these old bodies can take it. or if they want to endure it. You know what I'm saying?
Right, because
It's like, all right, Vince,
Edge
goddamn,
is
we said you SummerSlam. Now you want more.
uh-huh. So yeah, Edge has been back for about a little bit over a year now, maybe even 2 years, and he's already suffered one significant injury and a half. So he's already had the torn triceps, which kept him out, you know, for eight to 9 months. Um, and we're gonna get into like once we finish up the SummerSlam card, and we're gonna get into like the tolerance, like you said, the tolerance of these old bodies, and just whether all of everything that they tried during SummerSlam is it sustainable or not. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
So yeah, I can see what you're saying. Like I hope that's the route they're taking. He's going to get Roman, just not right now. But obviously Roman has his hands full. They even talking about trying to get The Rock back. Remember that was being thrown around for like next year's WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's probably gonna happen too because they gonna need that
Now,
power.
now they're trying to get him back way sooner. Like,
Yep, like I
so,
said, yeah.
yeah.
And that's the
So
thing. My bad. Just to
go
interject
ahead.
right there.
Mm-hmm.
So like, I know we got plans for Seth and Roman to meet, and the problem with that is, damn, is it going to keep us luster even if they can actually get to it? You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I love this Roman right now, even though I'm not the biggest Roman fan. I love this Roman right now. I'm always gonna love Seth Rollins.
Mm-hmm.
Is it still gonna have its luster? You know how sometimes the WWE wait so long they miss their mark. So
Right.
now, like you said, like we got a few with X coming up. We will talk about later on, and then now we hear they're pushing up the stuff with The Rock. That's probably gonna be a
Mm-hmm.
long burn to whatever pay per view they decide to put that on. And then does it still have enough to circle back around back to Seth and Roman? Who we don't know who might be next. You know what
It,
I'm saying?
it's because they're in the hard spot right now. So one, to answer your question, I think it's going to be almost impossible to like give us a Roman and Seth without one or two things happening. One, in order for us to enjoy that feud, Seth is going to have to go on the road.
Yeah.
Like all this losing shit gonna have to stop, and they have to book him like they're gonna have to even when he wins, they're gonna have to start booking him like as a stronger heel.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Or if he's gonna turn face or do whatever, he's gonna have to be like convincingly winning. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And two, which is the complicated part, is that if Roman Reigns just beat John Cena and he fucks around and beat X that we're gonna get to in a few minutes, or he fucks around and he beats The Rock. How does Seth come? We're not gonna. It's not gonna even be believable that Seth can beat this guy, right?
Probably not.
so so, and I want to. I guess it's crazy how CM Punk is gonna have to come into this conversation as well because it's going to come around to like another star or somebody fuck around beating Roman, if not The Rock. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because when when CM Punk had won his championship in WWE back in the day, and he was on that incredible, crazy run where he had the championship for over a year, 430 some days, and all of that. He literally went through like the entire top tier of talent at WWE. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it worked because my he had turned heel halfway through the run. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So he had beat all the heels, and then when he had got through all the heels, he turned heel. So now he's beating all the faces. You know what I'm saying?
Fire.
Yeah. So he literally went through like the whole influx of talent, and it wasn't until The Rock came in, you know what I'm saying, that he lost the championship. So hope maybe somebody else is waiting in the wings that we don't know, or I don't know. A piece of me even though I don't want him to even be in WWE no more. A piece of me was like, if they never released like Bray Wyatt, like they could have brought the whole thing full circle with him losing to Roman like last year. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then he would have to like tap into some extra powers of the Fiend, turn into a different Fiend. Like he said, they was doing that anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Before he got cut, it was gonna be another version of like another little Kirkman and shit. And
What,
he, huh?
I'm about to say, which he probably could have put a magnificent storytelling piece and cinematography to like write off the old and bring in the new. That'd have been amazing to see.
Mm-hmm. And like had that come full circle, it'd have been kind of believable. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see. Like, but they're gonna have to, because at this point they're just killing Seth Rollins essentially.
Yeah.
Um, we got to keep an eye on him. So that brings us to the main event of SummerSlam, which scenes Roman Reigns.
Uh-uh.
This wasn't the
Forgot
main event.
one.
Oh yeah. My bad. So back to the championships. The two world, back to back championship matches, world champion matches. My bad. Yeah, I got it written down and everything, and just like,
Nah, you good.
yeah, was so pressed to get the.
Yeah, yeah, definitely ready. Cause like, yeah, we'll talk.
Yeah, because this, I mean, this wasn't nothing to, you know what I'm saying? So that will bring us to the WWE Championship match. The Hurt Businesses, Bobby Lashley defending his championship against Bill Goldberg, and Goldberg's clearly not built to run these long matches, so you know it's going to be a quick match either way. But this was
Mhm.
even a bizarre for his standards. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, Match gets underway. There are a couple of moves here and there, a couple of this and that, and then what was it? MVP hit him in the knee
Yeah.
with the cane or the pimp stick, whatever he calls it.
Hmm.
And Goldberg is hurt, and he eventually he just never gets up, can't get up. He's too hurt. He's not able to compete, so the ref calls for the bell. I don't I don't know whether he was really hurt. I don't know whether that was scripted. I really just can't see a championship match being scripted like that at SummerSlam. Um, Match is over. Bobby Lashley ends up putting the hurt lock on his son. Actually, um, I hate to say this, but cool little heel moment. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
Um, I really didn't like this at all. I'm glad Bobby's still champion because I was definitely worried considering what was going on this night.
Right.
But how'd you feel about this?
Didn't really care for the match too much, and
Mm-hmm.
like you kind of have to sell it better and have a better decision for me to be okay with these type of matches. Like I'm not really too fond of the big guys going at it because they just don't give me enough diversity in the match. Like as far as the move sets and stuff like that to like
Right,
really bring me in. And
right,
it started off had like some nice match psychology. Bobby focused on the leg of Goldberg, ramming him into the post, the ring post, and all that. And you had MVP hitting him with the cane, which fucking Goldberg sold that shit badly. Hit him with the cane, and nigga reacted like a whole 5 seconds later, like ah.
right, right,
But
right.
yeah, and like I said, this to me was another direct correlation to what happened Friday. In
Okay,
my opinion, I think instead of like having Bobby win, hopefully they had Bobby winning. They maybe wanted to draw this out a little bit longer to use Goldberg's star power a little bit longer, and you kind of can do that with the whole angle of he attacked my kid,
right.
but that worries me because now is he going to beat? Is that going to propel him, give him super mighty strength to beat Bobby now, the motivation to beat Bobby, and hopefully he doesn't take the belt off Bobby. But
Well,
this high stakes, he is going to be for the belt.
yeah. If I had to guess, I'm like I said, I'm worried. So he's probably going to do it.
Yeah,
I'd have bet my house last year going into that match against the Fiend that the Fiend was going to win that match. Once I seen him lose to Goldberg, I was like, oh yeah, it's all up to him. If Goldberg wants to win that title, he's going to have it. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So we'll see how that is. Um, might be gone for a little while. Might they got a pay per view coming up in Saudi Arabia. The Crown Jewel. Goldberg's known to be highly requested for that paper. Over there. We'll see how things play out. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Um, that brings us to the final match of the night, and the Universal Championship, which sees the Bloodlines, Roman Reigns, Universal Champion, company with Paul Heyman, versus John the Don Cena. 16-time champion coming back. The summer of Cena. Very very physical back and forth match. At least early on anyway. The more this match went on, Roman Reigns gained like advantage, and then like the back half, not the back half, but the back piece of this match was just essentially Roman Reigns beating the shit out of John Cena.
Yeah.
Um, obviously he picks up the win, and he's taunting the crowd. He's standing over John Cena, and just as he can do the John Cena's "You Can't See Me," Brock Lesnar music hits, and out comes Brock Lesnar. Another massive pop. Um, Second massive pop of the night behind Becky Lynch's. His might have been bigger, obviously, but two huge pops for returning superstars. Commentary is going crazy. Michael Cole almost cussed. Would have been way cool if he'd have cussed, definitely. But catches itself. It's put PG-13, I guess. Long hair, Brock Lesnar, ponytail Brock walks down to the ring doing his normal slow walk. Does his normal circular ring before he gets up on the apron. Because of a spot in the match between John Cena and Roman Reigns, the steps are a little distant from the ring, so he does stand on the steps and then hops over to the ring. Gets in the ring and he's staring Roman Reigns right in the eyes. You know what I mean? I'm thinking they're going to at least squabble a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Roman Reigns has this look on his face like I'm not even going to say the man scared. I ain't going to disrespect him like that. Our tribal chief. But he's worried. Paul Heyman looks like he's seen a ghost. He's worried. You can hear him saying, "Oh, we got a problem. This is a problem. This is a problem." You know what I'm saying? So, how did you feel about the match, and then how did you feel about Brock Lesnar coming back?
Oh man, the match was good. It seemed like it was kind of getting a little long. Like it was like a bunch of kickouts.
Yeah.
Oh my god, they were eating finishes and specials like crazy.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was a good match though. Probably second match of the night. Behind Seth, but not saying much. You know what I'm saying? The card was so trash.
Right.
But I suspect. I didn't expect it to happen so soon. But like now, we're not surprised because like we see stuff is happening. I thought Becky was the one rabbit they pulled out their hat, but then they turned out Brock hits, and I'm like, okay, it doesn't really do it for me because we don't seen it so much.
Right.
But he has a massive pop, and I guess as long as he'll have that pop, Vince will always keep bringing them back.
Mm-hmm.
And then to the new look, oh my god, the internet is like funny as hell, man. Like when I first seen it, I don't like the look. No
Okay.
disrespect.
Okay.
And when I first seen it, he kind of reminds me of the guy from Sanity. I'll send you a picture after that,
Okay.
after the jump. And then like when somebody, you know how they do the memes, they put his head right next to a onion.
Mm-hmm.
So I was fucking dying
Yes,
laughing,
that
bro.
is funny.
But yeah, I didn't like. I mean, I'm cool with Brock being back because they need it. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, they had a lot to compete with on the other side, so I'm not mad at it.
Mm-hmm.
Just not excited. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
understand. But like, I didn't like the fact that they made Roman look. He was scared. You won't say it. He was scared. I didn't like that. I didn't like that. Roman, they booked Roman too strong to be beating the acknowledgement out of people. You know what I'm saying? For him to maybe essentially turn to a coward heel.
Please
But
don't. Please
we'll
don't go
see how we'll
down.
see how it play. I don't know, maybe calculated heel, but I don't know. We'll see,
I
man.
don't even want him to be that. He's been a monster heel. You
Right,
know, even if they want Brock Lesnar to go over and win, let him go out and die on the hill.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, like you said, he's too big to be like the coward heel. That's like Seth Rollins. That's what Seth Rollins was good at. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
The calculated heel like Randy Orton. Like he has size, but he's not humongous. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Like different types of heels fit the statuses. Like the coward heel would be like the Miz or somebody. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like no, he's been a monster heel for over a year.
Whooping shit.
Right, like you said, making people acknowledge him. Like, come on, I get it. Brock Lesnar's his character, but he's like, come on now.
And that brings me back to what I don't know if I said on the podcast before, but I was like, when you have all these massive guys, like how the initial plans with NXT was, how do you book it? Because like you said, like to make one person seem bigger than life, someone's gonna have to take a hit. And I hope Roman isn't about to take a hit. That's why it's always good. You have different angles with people with different sizes. You can
Mm-hmm.
go like different ways with it. But like I just hope like you finally got Roman right.
Mm-hmm.
Don't in the midst of this ruin it with a snap of
Mm-hmm.
a finger. Please don't. Please do not ruin Roman. I think what happened needs to happen. I think motherfucking he need to smack up his special counsel for being that damn scared, man. Look, the goddamn tribal chief here, man.
Well, I wanna go a step further. Um, and we could talk about possible angles because history says outside of Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman turned on every client he's ever had. So, is there an undying like connection? Is this leading to a setup? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Um, they've always wanted Roman to be a humongous face. Could this be a possible way that they can turn him face by having him Paul Heyman turn on him? That way he could still be like the tribal chief and all of that. You know what I mean?
It's a way for the storyline to go, but I'm not sure Roman's ready to do that. And I don't even think Roman's ready right now to be without Paul. I think he still
Right,
needs Paul.
right. Agreed. Um,
No disrespect
I
for
don't.
our
I don't want him to be face at all. If anything, he could be an anti-hero. But because I feel like if we're going to get the Roman versus Rock thing, that he has to be a heel versus the Rock.
right. So like, yeah, it's like if you mess this up now, make him go face, then he's gonna be like the Big Show now, just face heel, and then like he's gonna lose so much edge trying to be a face if they make him face.
Right,
You know what I'm
right.
saying? Because like the way they book faces,
Trash.
yes, young, like no face is like in my opinion, is like likable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because they have to be so cheesy and PG-13. It's funny. They're like they supposed to be PG-13, but then you'll have Drew McIntyre swinging a sharp sword at somebody.
Mm-hmm.
I seen somebody made that comment on the internet. That's funny.
That's a good
But
point
yeah,
too.
I don't like that. Please do not. You know what I'm saying? And then, as far as like, you got anything else to say about that? Because I
Oh
guess
no.
a little bit more. Like,
Go ahead.
how is Brock going to be without Paul? Like,
Trash. On mic, trash.
right. So like, how is this interaction going to be like? You can't constantly just keep having them come out and just stare at each other. You know what I'm saying? Like that's not going to get it every night all the way up until this big clash.
Right. Right. Right.
So I'll be glued to my TV to see how this goes, man.
Yeah. SmackDown's definitely going to be should be fire going forward because in the midst of all of this, when we talk about Roman Reigns and who's in line to like fight him, we still have to remember there is a Finn Balor in the wings who is still mad about being owed the championship match.
You know who else in the wings?
Who is that?
The Money in the Bank contract.
Yeah, Big E. So Roman's got his work cut out for him, man. You know what I'm saying? I like when they take these kind of angles where everybody's gunning for the championship. SmackDown, I don't know whether it's just because Fox has a lot more say so than USA Network. SmackDown is run way better than Raw is, and we'll get to that in a few minutes too. Um, because Raw really was like trash last night.
Yeah, it really was. I really was like keen in on watching it because
Mm-hmm.
like I said, like we're looking to see how WWE responds.
The draft is going to be pivotal because Raw doesn't have enough. They don't have enough.
Funny you should say that because I was waiting for a spot to interject. SmackDown got a shot in the arm with Becky Lynch now.
Yep,
And then I
champion
guess they're gonna since Roman
Brock.
is over there,
Yeah, Brock
they got
Lesnar.
Brock.
Yeah, so SmackDown's going to be good. What the fuck can you do to Raw? Like that's going to be like that's going to be interesting to see. So,
Oh,
huh?
quick too. I've been wanting to say this. Um, I don't know how they're gonna do it now. So I'm not sure if you heard of reports, and it's kind of quite obvious, I guess. Becky is gonna be a heel,
Oh yeah.
so
Well,
she
yeah.
requested that.
Well, I didn't. That you could tell from the match,
Right? Yeah, about to say
itself.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But that's a conundrum because you were just building up Sasha to be the top heel on the show. So what happens when she comes back from whatever she's dealing with? Could you essentially like maybe have the draft sooner than, or maybe some way put her over on Raw because I guess
Who
they can use her.
Sasha?
Yeah,
Yeah,
because I
you
best guess they
could.
about to have this because I think they're about to move into a feud between Bianca and
And
Becky.
Becky, yeah. It depends on how fast healthy Sasha can come back. Um, she's super valuable. So damn, I wish Bailey wasn't hurt because then I would bring out my little four horsewoman shit again because all of these bitches healed at the same time now.
Oh my god, that would be great. You can put the belts on both of them,
Uh huh.
the tag team belts on them, and then oh my god,
Yep, and just that fast. And we just talking. What was that? Like a couple weeks ago on the
yeah.
podcast, we just talked about that. And damn that.
And that will make your brand. That'll be a move to make your brand strong.
Uh huh.
That would be
And
must see TV.
yep. And damn it, Bailey. Get well soon, boo. But yeah, just that fast. Half of that prophecy is already filled. So uh it depends because after Becky finished up with Bianca, which by the way she beat her at SummerSlam, this should be a quick feud. This shouldn't be no long unless they're going to use Becky to build up Bianca.
Yeah, I hope so, but I don't see it. Like
I don't see it.
they say it's not a demotion for Bianca. but I don't see her getting that belt back though. She had it.
Now, when you get squashed like that, that's a demotion.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what Vince and them say. But
Yeah.
back to the angle. Maybe it could be a
Hmm.
slow burn,
Yeah.
and they can do it. You know what I'm saying? Like have Charlotte and Becky running through the roster. Maybe at some point one of them get to like you build up a big matchup that might need help, and then Sasha helps, and then maybe hopefully Bailey isn't too far along. Because how long we probably think Bailey might need
Well,
now since the
well,
time passed.
well, they said 9 months. It's only been like one,
Oh damn!
but
Never mind.
but what we know from history is that one, we don't even know what the fuck's wrong with Bailey.
Right.
Like the reports were like a torn ACL, but I've seen her doing some shit on social media where if she had a torn ACL, I don't think she would be doing it.
True.
Um, two, niggas normally come back way quicker than them 9 months.
True.
So
So hopefully,
yeah,
but
yeah, hopefully by like the end of the year type shit. But yeah, definitely could be a slow burn because this is long term what they need to build up. You know what I'm saying?
right. Yeah.
So this ain't gotta happen like immediately. This could just happen and shit. So yeah, the hardest thing for them if they were to go in that direction would be Becky's been gone for a year and a half, so that's going to be easy with her. Sasha's just coming off of where she's been gone since like WrestleMania. It's going to be easy for her. When Bailey come back, Bailey have been gone for like a year essentially, so it's going to be easy for her. It's to keep Charlotte relevant throughout all of this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like people already like tired of her. So how are you going to like? But if you throw them in a group together, people are going to be on board.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely. Man, I'm hoping, man.
That should be sweet. And then like had them just going. Well, they if you give them the belts, then they can go from brand to brand, so they can be with a Charlotte. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? It still can. You know what I'm saying? Still can do that shit. That should be like super fucking dope. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what NXT look like, maybe they can still go down there and mess with the NXT chicks, or if the NXT chicks are moved to the main roster. Like you got so much.
Potential.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And that'll be killing a couple birds with one stone because like them tag team titles need some new owners, the women's Jones.
Oh yeah, yeah. We both agree with that. So we'll see going forward. Whenever they make those changes to NXT, which we're about to get into now, I fully expect a lot of that NXT talent to go to Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it needs to, like you said, they need some help.
Mm-hmm.
They
Like,
already got one of them, right?
yes,
Karrion Cross.
yeah. The new Karrion Cross.
Like, what's up with that, man? They always like changing people's character and stuff, man. They took his valet, then they threw this weird mask on him, and
Mm-hmm. So we're finishing up with SummerSlam. Our grades for SummerSlam were pretty low. I was a little bit higher than yours. I gave SummerSlam a C. You gave it a D.
yeah,
I definitely not badgering you or nothing because this pay per view was so not it. You know what I'm saying?
right,
This could have been way better, but I felt like we felt like they just panicked about the whole CM Punk thing.
yeah.
Um,
Not a t-shirt company no more, huh?
and merchandise sold out within minutes.
Yeah,
Um, it's a little joint called Pro Wrestling Tees.
yeah,
I think you had mentioned something about them before, and they have said that it's the most requested merch that they've gotten since I think what did it say? It was either 2002 or some shit like that.
yeah. It's been a brick.
Yeah, so For somebody who's not a needle mover and who's not this and that, you sure, moving some needles.
Y'all can act all that company man shit, talk that shit if you want to, man. Them niggas are
Mm-hmm.
scared.
Yeah. So before we leave SummerSlam, it was reported that this was the highest grossing SummerSlam in WWE history. Um, uh, Set a record of 41,000 attended. Technically, they tried to say it was 55,000, but it was debunked. So about 41,000 people attended this sold out venue. Um, oh man, we've been on this for over an hour, and I forgot to even mention that today is August the 24th. So happy birthday to Vince McMahon. We've been badgering the man for about over an hour. We got to wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday, yo, fuck.
Get this shit together, Vince, man. Come
Yeah,
on,
man.
man. So wasn't the only pay per view, so to speak, for this weekend from WWE is they gave us NXT Takeover 36 and a hard hitting small card. Small but deadly is what I would call this card. Um, NXT is said to be going over a massive overhauling within the next few weeks. We'll see a lot of talent gone. We'll see a lot of talent probably released, knowing them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They want bigger main event caliber wrestlers,
Younger.
younger. Yeah, we'll see how things go. In the meantime, NXT Takeover 36, which gave us also a pre-show, and Lord, I forget the other guy's name, but I know Ridge Holland, who was in that faction with Pete Dunne, picks up a W over Trey Baxter.
Okay, but I was just about to try to look it up.
Yeah, got it. Um, you're gonna have to go into a lot of these NXT matches because you were like way into this more than I was. I love Ridge Holland. Um, he's like a solid character. I feel like if done right, which could be said about 90% of the roster, unfortunately, they just aren't done right. If they done right, this could be a nice heel character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's a bruiser. He's basically a bigger version of Pete Dunne. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how they call him the bruiserweight, he's like a big size bruiser. You know what I'm saying? Very physical, nice spots. Um, I like that wrestling is going in a direction where every heel doesn't have to cheat to win.
True.
Like I like the direction that's going there. You got anything you want to say about this match?
Nah, you pretty much covered this match. It was a great match. Way to kick off NXT Takeover. Yeah.
Yeah. So kicking off NXT Takeover championship match, all Bucks, which sees Cameron Grimes with Ted DiBiase, Mister Everybody Has a Price, versus LA Knight, who is the $1 million champion, which was made famous by Ted DiBiase, for the $1 million championship. And if Cameron Grimes loses, Ted DiBiase will have to be LA Knight's butler, so to speak. Um, this was a dope match. I like the storytelling. I like the backstories of how this led up to this moment. I like how Ted DiBiase is working with younger talent. He's using his $1 million championship to help get over talent. LA Knight is the rich heel. You know, I like nowadays that we're getting so many different variations of heels now. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Cameron Grimes is a great character. The first time I seen Cameron Grimes, I think he was doing heel work. He's not at the moment. Great character. This is a solid match. Cameron Grimes picked up the W. Cameron Grimes picked up a W, and he's the new $1 million champion. How'd you like this match?
Man, I love this match. Starting from the entrance, man, throws away the old.
Butler goes.
Yeah, came out in the old to Ted DiBiase with the trunks on it.
Mm-hmm.
Man, loved it, loved it, loved it. It was a great match, man. Um, Nice storytelling in this match. Cameron Grimes went over. We seen the $1 million dream. I mean, what more could you
Mm-hmm.
ask for in this matchup, man? Glad Ted don't have to be the maid. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that it seemed like AEW did a little bit too. Like I don't know if this is gonna be a real championship, but hey, man, I like it.
Yeah, I feel like it can be.
Yeah,
All it takes is to bring credibility to it, and it's real. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, yeah. So I mean, I loved it. This is a great matchup, man.
So definitely a great way to start off this takeover, which will bring us to another championship match. Dakota Kai is going against Raquel Gonzalez. NXT's Women's Championship on the line. The backstory to this is also cool. You know, they were a duo together. Um, Dakota Kai was going for the championship beforehand, right?
Yep.
Okay, just making sure I got it in mind. She couldn't get her hands on it. Raquel ended up getting the shot at it and winning it.
Little weasel.
He's a Dakota Kai stan, y'all. And she ends up winning the championship, and then there's a slow burn of jealousy. You know, the classic I feel that should have been me type of ordeal. And then the boy was over when, you know, she turns her back on her. And this was actually a great match as well. This whole card was pretty fire. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's a great match, great psychology, the good storytelling. Maybe because of like the storylines, it has you more emotionally invested in it. And so when the wrestlers do perform, it's like way easier to enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Gonzalez picked up this W, and you think this feud is over, or you think this could go on maybe a little longer? What do you think? How'd you like this match, by the way?
I like this match. It was like I think I mentioned to you. Did we watch this together?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it was like a little sloppy me nitpicking because I have high standards for
Right,
some of these
right.
wrestlers. So like I seen like a few spots where they didn't connect with like kicking and stuff like that. And like when she tried to hit her head in the turnbuckle, she missed. Had to come back around and hit her head on like little nitpicky stuff like that. But
Gotcha.
it was a great match. And I'm a little bit mad that my boo didn't pick up the victory. You know what I'm saying? It's just crazy how like she brought her to this business, brought her up, made her famous. You know what I'm saying? And just can't even
Okay.
get the title because just Snake. You always talk about Snake. Why you don't call her a Snake?
Well, I don't feel like that. I don't feel like she's a snake. You know, um, she had her chances. She just lost, and then when you know Raquel got her chance, she won. I mean, I don't feel like you know,
But yeah, it was
and she got a chance at Raquel and lost. So I don't know what more do you want.
still a Snake though. Still, I don't understand how you don't call her a Snake. But it's cool though. It's cool though. It's cool though. You know,
He's a
so
little,
you win some, you lose some.
right, and
But
she
I did
just
like the finish to this matchup though. She tried to go to the well too many times with that kick in the corner. Set
right,
her up, picked her up,
right,
boom, finish her off the top rope. One, two,
right,
three.
yeah. And Raquel's that's a healthy chick.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, she's a nice, tall, healthy little chick. So keeping the championship matches rolling, and did we see a classic with this one? The NXT UK Championship, Ilya Dragunov, I hope I said that right, versus Imperium's Walter. Walter has been a champion over in NXT UK. He's been a champion for about a little bit over 2 years. Brute force. He's the mob boss heel essentially. Um, man, so many spots, classic wrestling, technical wrestling, power wrestling, strategic wrestling, and a nice little touch of a champion realizing he just doesn't have enough to beat this up and coming cat. And Walter ended up losing this championship, and what I feel would have been match of the night. We're gonna get to the other matches in the card. Would have been match of the night if it wasn't for another match. How'd you feel about this match?
Man, this matchup was great. This matchup was great, man. Like you said, you built it up, described it perfectly, and I just want to put just emphasis on power, slobber knocker. These UK dudes, man, they don't play around, man. They hit you, they hit you.
Yeah, it
They're
feels
tough.
it feels and sounds like they're really doing moves out there. Like,
Yeah, man. Whew. Well, this was a great match. Just me, if I want to just nitpick, Walter probably had to lose. Like you said, he had it for 800 something days.
yeah,
But I just didn't like the how he, you know what I'm saying, the
the
tap
tapping
out.
out.
And it was like he tapped out like super quick, I think.
That's the thing, because we initially was like, nah, the champion can't tap out after 2 years.
Yeah.
But when I rewatched the match, I was like, considering what happened, I was like, you know what? Okay. But like you said, not that fast though.
Yeah, that was my
I,
like, yeah.
I would have took a pass out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. So, yeah.
Yeah, took a or just like he done had this submission there for 2 minutes. You know what I'm
Right. Let him
saying?
try reverse to get to the ropes. He can't get to it and then tap out. But that man locked the joint in. I'm like,
Uh-huh.
sheesh. Well, hopefully that
Mm-hmm.
builds up driving off. You know what I'm saying?
And it should, because when you do the unthinkable like he just did, he should have a nice little run over there NXT
Nice
UK.
triumphant win, man.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
Walter,
okay.
huh?
Wait. I had a
Okay.
question, but I can wait.
Okay. So, in my opinion, Walter has main roster written all over him. Now, what he does up there, I don't know. But he could be potentially a nice piece on the main roster, no matter what brand he's on. So, what were we about to say?
That was my question. What now for Walter? Does he go back to UK? Does he go up to the main roster? What? And I like you said, I think he can definitely be a main piece on the roster.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know with Vince. It's just the Vince is just such a wild card.
Yeah.
But I think if he goes up to the main roster, please take Imperium with him.
Oh yeah, of course. Has to. Please don't break them up.
Yeah.
Please
You
don't
know
break them up.
Vince how Vince is
With
with
stable.
factions and stables and stuff like that. And like you said,
You
he didn't bring up Scarlett to go with Curry and Cross.
yeah, you wanna boost them how we talked about earlier with SummerSlam and the tag team division.
Yeah.
Throw Imperium up there, man. That's a boost. You know what I mean?
And it sucks though, because Damian Priest got that jump. But I don't know.
Yeah, well, I'm talking about the tag team titles.
Oh yeah, but I was like looking
Yeah.
for something long term for Walter. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, he can go
I
to
want a belt to have on
he can
him.
go to SmackDown.
I was thinking SmackDown too, and maybe get the IC jump.
Yeah,
But like we said, Raw needs so much goddamn help.
it does. It does. It does. I feel like Walter's best fit would be on SmackDown, but Raw does need that help. I mean, if Damian Priest is Damian Priest and he excels, then you'll just find other stuff for Walter to do in the meantime. You know what I'm saying?
True.
And then they can have a slow feud to help get niggas over and all that. I don't know.
Yeah.
So next we have a non-championship match, which would be the only non-championship match on this card. Um, the undisputed finale, which sees Kyle O'Reilly take on Adam Cole in the Three Stages of Hell match. I feel like Three Stages of Hell needs to happen more often than it does. You know what I mean? Um, this was going to be a regular match, a street fight, and a steel cage if necessary, which everybody pretty much knew we were gonna get all three of these.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, um backstory behind this: Kyle O'Reilly and Adam Cole were once together in the Undisputed Era, a dominant faction in the NXT brand, probably the most dominant faction down there of all time. Um, that group consisted of them two, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish. Bobby Fish no longer with the company; he was released. Roderick
Yeah,
Strong.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, Roderick Strong, who is a part of the Diamond Mine stable now as the leader. Well, I guess the manager is the leader, but I don't know. But yeah, he's a part of a new stable. Really didn't like them breaking up this group from the get go. But if it had to happen, this storyline culminated the whole decision with these two basically battling out over the last few months. Um, since you were into Undisputed Era, I believe you and Sonny was the reason I even heard of these cats. I'll let you dig into this match first. So go ahead.
Man, oh man. This was like I always knew this was gonna be the one. I
Mm-hmm.
knew these guys were gonna tear down the house.
Mm-hmm.
You see in the first match, the regular match, you see Cal picking up the quick pin.
Quick fan.
And Adam Cole was like, what the fuck? This monkey came to play.
Mm-hmm.
So now we came to the stipulation that fits Adam Cole the best.
Mm-hmm.
Street fight. Immediately after pin, my man went smack and got the weapons. Like me, when I play WWE 2K, I go get them weapons. And they just had so many different spots with all the weapons, the kendo sticks, the chairs,
Mm-hmm.
chains. Man, just the psychology these guys use, man. Like, you know how they always do like the punching each other, standing in the middle of the ring, punching each other. They did that with the chains on the fist, man. Like it
Mm-hmm.
was a great match. And of course, Adam Cole picked up the win in the street fight. All up, 1-1.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes on a tear. While they trying to set up for the cage match, he's still just beating the crap out of Cal O'Reilly. Trying to soften him up, man, because it's kind of close his deal.
Right,
So he's
right.
beating the crap out of him. Took him outside, slammed him on the announcer's table. And they still can't even set up the ring because he's in and out beating them up. And it was cool the way the steel cage came down. Remember, like I was told, like, damn. When I'm looking up there, I'm like, is it a steel cage up there? But the
Right.
way they had it come down to 4 pieces as opposed to one big steel cage.
Oh, okay,
So that's
gotcha.
why I didn't see it. The joint just came down flat, and then they lowered it, and then they do their whole thing fastening and all that. So the steel cage there, you still can use your weapons and still in the steel cage.
Mm-hmm.
This Bama handcuffs him to the ropes.
Love it.
Yeah, and Cal O'Reilly still was able to pick up the win, handcuffed to the rope, one handed with the submission. It sucked. My man had to lose. I'm a big Adam Cole fan. But we all know why he lost and what's looming, what's on the horizon with that.
Mm-hmm.
How did you feel about this match, Teddy?
So a few minutes ago, I said that if it wasn't for a certain match, Ilion versus Walter would have been match of the night. This was the match of the night.
Nice.
um, Now, initially, this is where we had split up. I fell asleep on Takeover.
Mm-hmm.
After Kyle O'Reilly got the quick pin, I dozed off. So I had to rewatch this early the next morning. Now it was about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning or whatever. I rewatched it and whatnot. So, like you said, man, just the psychology of everything and doing things we've never seen before. Like we've seen 3 stages of hell before. To be whooping your opponent while they're trying to set up the last stipulation of the match. It's like that's brilliant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's realistic because you would think, and I remember I could think back to the most iconic 3 stages of hell match was between Triple H and Shawn Michaels, and the third fall was a Hell in a Cell match, And even though you couldn't see like what was going on when they're setting it up, because this is about 2003, 2002 ish, I think. You would wonder, like, well, what the fuck niggas be doing while they doing this shit? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for them to be like giving you this answer nowadays, that's like beautiful storytelling on their part, I think.
Yeah.
Um, like you said, this if Adam Cole had signed a new deal, he probably was going to win this match. I like how they made him look, even in his last match. I like how they made him look very strong. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, like you said, Adam Cole hasn't signed a new deal with these guys. His deal expired right after this match. The day after, he's a free agent. Kyle O'Reilly had to go over, and deservedly so. He's been putting in a lot of work. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I love this match. Yeah, this was definitely match of the night. Like I said, I feel like they should do like these type of matches more often. 3 stages of hell. um, yeah, I really have nothing else to say. We both know that the speculation is Adam Cole is going to AEW. He's dating Britt Baker, the women's champion over there. He's good friends with the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega and a lot of those kids over there. So speculation is that's where he's heading. And even if he decides to stay with WWE and go to the main roster, please, I hope he doesn't. But he should be decent if Vince doesn't. Now Vince is more likely he's prone to screw Adam Cole up.
Yeah, he will.
Yeah, because he doesn't like the small guys to begin with.
All it takes is one thing. Adam Cole to get hurt, like what happened with Finn Balor.
Correct.
Finn Balor got the shot, got hurt, and Finn never recovered on the main roster from that. So it'll be
Never.
something small like that. It'll be if they so happen to put the belt on Adam Cole and they still don't win the ratings war. You know how that old school
Mm-hmm.
logic, they'll blame
Mm-hmm.
him for not being a draw. But
Right.
like you got a whole show this if it's written like shit, it's written like shit. You can't blame the champion.
Right. So yeah, completely agree with that. So hopefully they don't screw him up if he decides to stay, even though we both think he's gone.
Yeah, it's like 98%. I
Yeah.
think he's gone.
Yeah, I'm right there with you and shit. 98. Yep.
Cause like, what else could they really offer him outside of what money? But I think the AEW probably got more money for him, and then maybe money isn't his biggest thing. Maybe he can get like enough money, or maybe more money, and then like you said, be with us loved ones, and you know you're gonna get booked better over there. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. And the opportunities like that have like the dream matches and whatnot. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And like the go against maybe a Kenny Omega or CM Punk or Chris Jericho or any other talents, that the young talent that they got, MJF, and it's just I feel like he 1 foot in the door already over there. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
We both touched on how because his contract expired, he doesn't have to serve a non-compete clause. You know what I mean?
Right. That's huge. That's huge.
Mm-hmm. So if he wanted to, he could show up tomorrow.
Right.
So yeah, which is if he wants to capitalize on momentum, then that would be cool. I wonder if he has his name and stuff copyrighted.
I I probably would think so, unless like maybe Ring On all them not that petty, because that's what he went by in Ring On and all that.
Oh, okay, that's probably him then.
Yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
Even better. So yeah, that capitalize off that. That would be monumental.
We haven't seen nothing like that since like what Skull and Kevin Nash.
Yeah. And Bret Hart and them. Yeah.
Yeah,
Which is why WWE created the whole non-compete thing. You know what I mean?
yeah. That
To,
now makes sense.
yeah. So that's why they did that, to keep a nigga from cashing out on that momentum like that. They want you to slow your fucking 90 days. They want you to slow your fucking roll. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like, you got to start from ground zero, buddy. So This brings us to the last match of the night, which is we're back to the championship matches, which sees a in-ring return of Samoa, or how they be saying it on TV, Samoa. Samoa Joe versus NXT champion Karrion Kross. Tick tick. Or TikTok. You say TikTok, right?
I'm not even sure. I ain't heard that one.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's his little, because you always say your time is up. And then he
Oh,
did a
okay.
little TikTok. I guess it's TikTok or whatever.
Yeah,
So
that's more synonymous with time.
yeah. So of course, we pretty much saw this coming. Samoa Joe defeats Karrion Kross and what's like pretty much a slobber knocker. Karrion Kross has been on the main roster for about a little bit over a month now. So we kind of saw it was inevitable. He was going to drop this title. We also starting to see the inevitable of them already changing him up, not letting him do certain things on the main roster that he's done down here. No valet, like you said, the new wardrobe where he's just like some type of warrior. Um, I like this match. Not necessarily like in the results, but they probably don't have a choice at this point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If he doesn't drop it to Samoa Joe, who's he going to drop it to that's worthy of a Samoa Joe? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and then they're probably pressing. Vince is probably pressing like H and them to, yeah, hurry up and get the title off him so we can have him full time on Raw. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because he's been pulling double duty for about a month now. So, uh, decent match. I like it. Like, how'd you feel about this?
Yeah, like you said, it's a decent match. I
Yeah.
say like majority of I ain't gonna think I was in and out too. During this point, yeah, it was like a little bit late on a Sunday. I was a little bit
Yeah.
tired, but it was a good match from what I
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah. So Samoa Joe picks up the victory. Uh, I wanna say he got a pinfall victory using a move that I don't think Samoa Joe has a finisher that's not that cocaine clutch, right?
Actually, story time, slight story time.
Okay.
This, when Small, you remember when Small Joe first came to WWE
Mm-hmm.
and he was wrestling on the dark matches and stuff.
Okay.
I think this is the move that hurt Tyson Kidd.
Wow.
Yeah. So that's probably why you haven't seen him do it too much. I think that's the move that hurt Tyson Kidd.
Wow. Okay. So that's wow. Okay, didn't know that. So then now it makes sense. So maybe that's just been his finisher. And he's only allowed to use it once in the blue moon, like how they took away Seth's curb stomp. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
For a couple of years, and now he's back doing that. So maybe this is one of those type of deals.
Yeah, you got less restrictions down at NXT.
Facts. So Karrion Kross should be on the main roster full time now. No, no NXT double duty no more. Interesting to see where they go with as far as Samoa Joe. Like the direction of Samoa Joe, like you're gonna have to be like a wily veteran to become champion now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, you're basically going to be earning that championship. Like,
Yeah. Like, who does he feud with now?
right.
Maybe a Kyle O'Reilly while Kyle O'Reilly's still there.
Yeah. And then maybe somebody just like steps up to the challenge, somebody new, somebody fresh. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I could definitely tune in. We get NXT tonight, whole T.
Facts.
So yeah, that we'll see about that. And then that brings us to Monday Night Raw, which was by both our standards trash.
Nah, it wasn't trash. It was trash.
Right. So we don't even have to get super in depth about Monday Night Raw, but it starts off with Bobby Lashley coming out, obviously to cut a promo about, Goldberg and this and that. He's interrupted by the new United States champion. And this with typical Monday Night Raw fashion, they get into it, and they end up squabbling, and he ends up getting the match with Bobby Lashley. Now this is the first. I haven't seen this before. So I've never seen in wrestling somebody come out, get the championship entrance and all of that, blah blah blah, leave, change their clothes, and immediately come right back out with another championship entrance and all of that. Is that the first time you've seen that too? Or
Yeah, as far as I can remember, yeah, definitely.
yeah, so I was like, wow, I've never seen that before. Like, comes out with the suit on and does this whole little regular ordeal, and then sets up a match. He has to go change his clothes, and then they take a quick commercial break, and back from commercial break, he gets the grand entrance all over again, like that. Yeah, I haven't seen that. So obviously, Damian Priest is interfered with by Sheamus, who he beat for the title of SummerSlam, and then Drew McIntyre, Lord have mercy, comes out once the two heels get the upper hand, and then predictably this turns into a tag match. This was kind of just all over the place. Like, why? Why is Damian Priest even approaching Bobby Lashley?
Yeah,
Why is Drew McIntyre coming to his defense? You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, just, you got anything you want to say about this before I move on?
No, not really. Like you said, it was all over the place. I had that question too. It's like, why is Damian Priest, who just won the title, is coming at Bobby Lashley? Like what's this beef with Bobby? I know you call him a coward and all that, but it's like, why? It just didn't make sense. It's like, I mean, it's just bad booking, and like you said, this was like goes into this is why this show is so shit.
Right. And without even getting into like every single match and all of this and that, blah blah blah, I'm just gonna give you like a few notables from the show. Is that cool?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Very quickly, Eva Marie attacked Dewdrop backstage, so we're heading towards that kind of feud.
Who wants to see that?
Nobody. Karrion Kross defeated Ricochet. Ricochet is one of the most talented sacrifices I might have ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Karrion Kross, we already talked about him. At the moment, there's no Scarlett on the main roster with him. He, like you said, he has the mask. He's very remnants of a warrior now.
He got like some type of like straps or suspenders or some shit, right? Too, right?
Right. To go with the whole warrior little outlook.
Like too close to the Viking Warriors or some shit to me. For me,
Right. Maybe that's a new stable they might be on. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So you turn those guys heel, and then they work for him, and this and that, and it's more possibilities, I guess. Another notable is Miz and Morrison broke up. The Miz had a match, ended up losing the match, and
Johnny dipshit costing the match, man. Just so many messes up, so many mishaps, man. They get it
definitely,
together, man.
definitely a lot of mishaps. So, the Miz took his heel character to another level, attacked John Morrison, and I'm guessing going forward he's going to be more of a serious heel than the joking Hollywood heels that they've been recently. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
How do you feel about that?
I mean, it was okay. I think it could have been sold a little bit better, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll be. I mean, it's something I could be cool with. You know what I'm saying? For like a mid tier, mid card feud. So I'm not too mad at it. It's probably one of the bright spots on this Raw episode.
Yeah, I liked it. Mansoor defeated Jinder Mahal after Jinder Mahal got disqualified for not breaking the 5 count in the corner.
Ruthless aggression, man.
It clearly did not care about winning this match, having this match. Just needed to get out some, like you said, some aggression. You know what I'm saying?
Is this the upswing that get Jinder Mahal back relevant?
We'll see. But guys, you need a lot of that to be relevant. But Monday Night Raw needs it. So that will bring us to what else was a good thing? Charlotte Flair, new championship one. She's now a 12-time champion. She's cutting the promo, and right as she's finishing the promo, Alexa Bliss comes out, her and Lily, and says that she and Lily just want to say hi. Clearly, we're heading towards a feud. How do you feel about this?
This could be good. I just
Yeah.
hope it's just booked better. Like now we have like we said earlier, Charlotte can carry the match,
Right,
and I just
right,
need them to book Alexa Bliss strong enough and get creative with her character and her antics, and I think this could be a pretty good feud if they can book it correctly. So
right.
I'm a little excited to see it. I don't think
Mhm.
we. I don't. I'm not sure. It's not. I know it's not an overwashed down one. How many times have we seen Alexa versus Charlotte?
A couple times, I think. Not,
Okay.
yeah, nothing like to be like, oh well, damn, they giving me Randy Orton and John Cena vibes. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So, and then Alexa's a whole new persona now, so that's always a nice little twist to it. You know what I mean?
True. True. True.
Yeah. So, um, speaking of the women, we had Nikki Ash, almost a superhero, and Rhea Ripley versus Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler. Um, Obviously, Nikki Ash and Rhea Ripley pick up the pinfall victory with on par per usual. Shayna Baszler eating another pin. Um, what do you feel about this?
I'm not liking this direction.
Yeah,
It looks like they're about to have another impromptu tag team, probably with Rhea and
Nikki Ash.
yeah, and is going to move them away from the title picture. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not really feeling it. And then I'm not liking it. Like I said, I'm not even. Well, I'm cool with Shayna. Like her keep eating these pans is kind of crazy, man.
Yeah, she's literally like whenever she fights, she gets pinned. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
they're fucking with her mentally. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
If as talented as she is, it's no excuse for her. Um, we had Matt Riddle defeat AJ Styles via pinfall, which is the night after tag team titles switch hands. Somebody from the tag team is going to go against the another person from the other tag team, and a decent match. These two can wrestle their asses off. Um, Randy Orton and them distracting Omos just enough so he wouldn't be a nuisance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Riddle ends up picking up the victory. That was the end of Monday Night Raw. We both agreed that it was super trash. They need star power in the worst way, and I feel like AEW can probably see that if they had to pick and choose to attack one of these shows, it will most certainly be Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
Um, the only thing I wouldn't say that I know they wouldn't move to Monday nights because of Monday Night Football. I think that would be the only thing keeping them from that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As we saw last night, the New Orleans Saints played the Jacksonville Jaguars, and Tony Khan is part owner of the Jaguars. So why would you want to take away from your own money? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So his father owns the Jaguars. So and it's also cool to see that every time we see the Jaguars play, it's fueling AEW. Isn't that something cool to just like keep note on and shit?
Yeah, yep. That's a good tidbit right there.
Yeah. So definitely wouldn't want to do that. Don't need to, but yeah, they're like you said way earlier in the podcast. They're improving rapidly, man. It's what a time to be a wrestling fan right now, right?
Right, like keep harping on it, but like a lot of people, I don't know, some like they just want to draw a line in the sand and oh yeah, I'm AEW or I'm WWE and this. I'm like, bro, I'm just about to sit back and enjoy just all the great content that come from this. AEW is giving me good content right now, and I'm just hoping this pushes WWE to get better with this, man.
Right, and they don't have too much pride to be like, well, we're just going to sink. Let's just sink. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think they're gonna try to go down swinging. Well, at least when they go down, but I think they're gonna fight.
Yeah, and they definitely should fight. So, anything else we wanted to touch on before we get into these what the fuck facts?
Nah, I think that's about it.
Okay, so y'all know before we get up out of here, we always like to give y'all some facts that make you, at least we try to make you say like, what the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So I think I got a decent one today. Um, this one involves Michael Jackson, and so if you know Michael Jackson, I know you know, but to people listening, if you know Michael Jackson's song "Smooth Criminal," one of his most iconic lines of his whole career is "Annie, are you okay?" Now, a lot of people speculate that Annie was once a female that Michael Jackson used to talk to or used to date, and was referencing her in a classic song. But do you know the Annie he really was talking about?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so the Annie that he's referring to is a CPR doll named Resusci Ann. When you're taking CPR classes, all the dolls are named Ann, Resusci Ann. And while you're trained to do CPR on said doll, one line that you always must harp to the doll is Annie, are you okay? Did you know that?
No.
So when you listen to Smooth Criminal from here on out, one of the things that you should think of, y'all, is that Michael Jackson was definitely trained for CPR. And that is my what the fuck factor of the day.
That is crazy. Oh man, like it's just amazing the stuff that gets thrown into lyrics these days. It was like when you, it's like cool, like when you hear about it, like damn, that's fucking crazy. Oh man. All right, so I got a decent what the fuck
Mm-hmm.
fact.
Mm-hmm.
So did you know back in the day when they were taking pictures, they didn't always say cheese. You know what I'm saying? The photographer wasn't always telling you to say cheese.
Okay.
And that was because back in the 1800s, dental work wasn't that great. So the people didn't want to smile.
Okay.
So the photographer used to tell the people prunes, which will make your face a more serious face because they didn't have the great dental work, so they didn't have good smiles. And
Mm-hmm.
also back then, taking pictures and photography was a luxury. So it was kind of frowned upon to be smiling, joking when you're taking these pictures. It
Right.
didn't happen until like maybe 180 years later. This little brand called Kodak. They made more ready available, cheaper, more attainable cameras, and their whole marketing campaign was geared around people cheesing, smiling, taking pictures. So they went from say prunes to say cheese to make your mouth smile.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how that all came about. Like back in the day, they used to say prunes to get a more serious, straight face.
Yeah, because they're nasty as hell. That makes sense.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I didn't know that. I always wonder where that shit came from. Like what?
Hmm.
I thought it was because, whoever was like the first ever sweet photographer, nigga just used to have like a lot of cheese with him or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think the guy name was James Davies or something like that. He
Okay.
was like the head guy at Kodak Marketing, and he came up with the idea to switch it to say cheese.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, like how, like that's a sweet fact. I wonder, like, what he just sitting around thinking the words that'll make you smile and shit. You know what I'm
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
saying?
Like you said, it's always interesting to see how people come about to these things. You know what I'm saying, and how stuff comes around. Something so normal to us.
All
I know you
right.
deal with photography a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So like, you know what I'm saying? That's just interesting. Like, yeah, like who was the fucking first word to say cheese? And like where did that come from?
Yeah.
Now you know.
Yeah, God. Niggas had to subconsciously come up with a way to make people smile though. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely dope. So we did our thing with these joints today. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying?
sir.
So you got anything else you want to say to the people before we get up out of here?
Um just shout out to Punk, man. Like this, you shook up the wrestling world and the internet, bro. Like shout out to you,
Mm-hmm.
man. I'm looking forward to what you can bring. I'm happy this doesn't sound like he's going to be a part-time player,
Mm-hmm.
and I just can't wait to see it, man. Like this is about to be the battle of wars. Like a lot of people always try to downplay it, like, oh no, nah, they not battling against each other, bruh. When you share a common field, it's just nature. Like you can listen to people. That's why you can't listen to people because they'll downplay it. Like WWE try to downplay it, and you listen to them, they all nah, we ain't competing. But look at where we at now.
Mm-hmm. They're
It's
just
like,
competing.
yeah, it's like back in the day, like when like the whole Nikki and Remy thing went down, they try to say, no, we ain't beef. I ain't got none of rights. Then two diss tracks come out of nowhere.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely shout out to CM Punk, man. He got this shit rolling. Um, and what I feel like is even better. This could be even better than like the Monday Night Wars and all of that. Is because nowadays wrestling come on so much.
Yeah.
Like, and granted, both of them had two shows apiece back then, but WCW's second show wasn't as big.
Thunder.
Yeah, as high like what could possibly be now. You know what I'm saying?
Correct. Yeah.
So you got the Raw, and you got the SmackDown, and you got NXT, and then you got like Rampage, and then you got Dynamite, and then because they also got the AEW Dark,
Right.
and that's just confined to YouTube. But eventually, I really expect that to be like on. Now I ain't gonna say as much as on TV, but more like bigger than what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a possibility, man. The
And
way they growing.
yeah, and that's their version of like NXT, which also happens on Tuesday nights. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, definitely a time to be. And another thing that we could touch on about AEW in general is that they got a lot of resources because they working with multiple promotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
That's so dope, man.
yeah,
It's just like what we wanted back in the day, but we couldn't get it because they were like rival companies. Like you always wanted to see like the Undertaker Sting and
mm-hmm,
whoever NWO versus DX. You know what I'm saying?
mm-hmm, yeah. And with these promotions now, you getting shit like, man, the Bullet Club versus like All Elite in them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely like you said, sit back, kick your feet up, soak up some content. We're gonna get NXT tonight, AEW tomorrow. If you desperate, TNA on Thursdays, and then SmackDown on Fridays. Almost every day of the week.
And Rampage Fridays.
Yeah, and Rampage, not bad. Yeah. So literally Monday through Friday, there's wrestling on for you.
Yeah, like you said, what a time to be a wrestling fan.
Mm-hmm. So with that being said, we're gonna leave it at that. And it's been another Head for the Hills podcast. And we out.
Bye.